This dog always looked out of the hatch when we went for a walk. The owner didn't know why until he opened it and was shocked by what was inside. In a small quiet village in Turkey, there lived a handsome and intelligent shepherd named Axel. He was very sweet, and I loved seeing him around. When his mistress took him for a walk, people often stopped and petted him. But one day, for some strange reason, this quiet walk changed. One evening, when Irena was walking her dog, Axel suddenly stopped a few shops away from the butcher shop. He started barking and his attention was focused on the opening. He barked so loudly that he scared others. Irene couldn't understand. Why was the German shepherd behaving so strangely? He barked and barked in the valley and refused to go any further. After several attempts to make him walk, Axel finally followed his master out of the abyss. Irena felt relieved and was happy that her dog had returned to normal life. After the incident, they went home. Irena continued to worry about the puppy's erratic behavior. She told her husband Ronnie about what had happened. Without being there, she couldn't imagine how shocking his actions were. He told Irene not to worry. Axel saw a small rodent in the hatch and was very happy. Irena was not very satisfied with this answer. However, he still felt the need to let go of the situation and didn't think about it anymore. The next morning they went for a walk around the city again. This time Irena was on the same channel, so I paid special attention. This time the dog didn't bark. Instead, he sat down in the middle of the road by the canal. He stared down the drain for several minutes, not moving an inch. Irena is once again shocked by the strange behavior of the dog. He tried to look into the canal from where he was standing, but saw nothing. After she woke up Axel, they went home. This behavior lasted for 3 days, and whenever she took Axel for a walk, he stopped in the valley and looked down. He sat and watched. One evening, Irena was walking her dog again on her usual route. The animal happily ran alongside its owner as they walked towards the butcher shop. Axel stopped by the canal again, but did not stop. Arriving at the butcher shop, Irena was happy to buy Axel's favorite sausage. But when he opened the bag to eat, the dog did something he had never done before. Axel was an obedient dog and knew how to behave. Therefore, when he ran away with a bag of sausages, Irena was scared and screamed in horror. There were few people on the streets, so it was difficult to chase his nimble dog. He started chasing her, and when he finally found her, she couldn't believe her eyes. Axel got into the same sewer again. He was sitting in the gap with a sausage in his mouth. He stopped eating and started throwing the sausage down the drain. What happened to this dog? Interested in the reason for the abnormal behavior of the dog, Irena quietly approached the place. But even at that moment, he couldn't see anything. After her dog threw all the sausages into the pit, the woman sat down to inspect the pit. What he saw next surprised him. He hadn't expected such a sight. Without hesitation, Irena took out her cell phone and called the fire department. About 15 minutes later, rescuers arrived at the scene. The firefighters asked Irena to explain the situation and immediately decided to close the gap. But there was a problem. Standing near the abyss was none other than Axel. He growled threateningly at the firefighters and clearly warned them to call back. The assistants didn't know what to do. Eventually, with Irena's help, the animal was calmed down and taken a few meters away from the ravine so that firefighters could work in peace. Firefighters received several extraction tools and quickly removed the metal rod blocking the storm drain. By removing the drain cover, firefighters were able to take a closer look inside the drain. Meanwhile, several people gathered around the scene. They all watched the dog's behavior and wondered why. After calmly waiting for several minutes, the firefighters finally revealed what Axel had seen and what he was protecting. Firefighters climbed into the sewer and pulled something out. He was alive. Everyone was shocked when he told me what it was. The tiny kitten is only a few weeks old. Surprisingly, the story did not end there. Firefighters went out of action 4 more times. Every time I raised my hand, I gave birth to a tiny kitten of the same size and age as the first one. When the sound of the fire extinguisher rang out, everyone in the crowd gasped in shock. Irena was also surprised. He saw 2 kittens in the canal. The fact that there were 4 of them came as a surprise to him. The poor kitten was stuck in a ravine for 3 days until Axel found him. They were hypothermic, exhausted and very weak. The babies were taken directly to the veterinarian, who examined the animals. They were then taken to an animal shelter. I couldn't figure out how the kitten got here. It was probably washed into the canal during heavy rains.